Every day of my entire life, I lived like it was day one, week one of buds. So I prioritize trying to win the battle in the morning. So I always win the battle in the morning. So I get morning time, every morning I go for a run. That's the first thing I do every morning. Haven't taken a day off of running since December 2016.
All right, so you're a retired Navy SEAL, you went through the Air Force Special Operations Community, you've deployed to Iraq, broken the world record for pull-ups, run a few ultramarathons. So what do you say when you're introducing yourself to people? Like, how do you introduce yourself to people with all of that?
Well, kind of how you said it right there. I'm David Goggins.
So what got you interested in the SEAL community in the first place? Like, what caught your eye?
Well, I was spraying for cockroaches when I got out of the Air Force. I was spraying for cockroaches. I was about 297 to be exact. And I saw this Discovery Channel show on TV. And I was like, and that Discovery Channel show was just guys going through Hell Week. And I saw these guys freezing, a lot of water. And I was like, you know what? It brought back memories of me going through pararescue training. So at 297 pounds, I decided to try to be a Navy SEAL. And to make a long story short, I had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months. And that's where it became challenging for me. So I knew to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months, you're looking at 3,500 calories is a pound. So I was basically doing a whole bunch of math in my head. So I knew if I were to stop and be stagnant, there was no calories being burned. So I just basically trained all day long. So that's how I went. And before I knew it, I lost the weight. But when you lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months, you're not in the best shape of your life. You got a lot of cardio in, but you're just not in great shape. So my first place in the Navy was buds. So, my first indoctrination to the real Navy was buds.
So how did that go, like getting to buds then, not being in the greatest shape and maybe not necessarily healthy?
I wasn't in bad shape, but my body was broken. Because when you go from 297 to 191, in that time period, and you're running, you're starting to break yourself. So I broke myself before I even got into Navy SEAL training. My first time going through buds, I got to Hell Week, stress fractures, double pneumonia. I got rolled back day one, week one. Second time going through buds, I actually fractured my patella before I got into Hell Week. Made it through Hell Week with a fractured patella, went 2 weeks after Hell Week, and then, because I didn't want to get rolled back to day one, week one.
Yeah.
But I couldn't keep up with the class, got rolled back to day one, week one, after Hell Week. And then I went through my third time and I graduated that class. We had a guy die in that third Hell Week, class 235. So that's kind of how it happened.
So what did that feel like to keep getting rolled back, keep going through Hell Week? Where did you go when you were doing that in your mind?
What I started figuring out going through buds was that the harder something is, the more it was challenging my mind. So I had to find different ways to stay in the fight. And in staying in the fight, it got me tougher and tougher and tougher. So I'm actually happy I went through 3 Hell Weeks. I never examined myself. And as a human being, you got to examine yourself. And I guess the best place to examine yourself is Navy SEAL Hell Week.
3 times.
So I got to examine myself a few times. So it started there. It started in Hell Week. And it's still going now at 43 years old. Once
you graduated, after getting your trident, where did you go after that?
I graduated August 2001, August 10th, 2001. And as we all know, less than a month later, September 11 happened, So once that happened, my guys were going to airborne school. We got the word about it. I went to SQT, SEAL qualification training. And after that, I went right to SEAL Team 5. And then my second platoon, we got the call. We went to Iraq. I was at SEAL Team 5, Bravo platoon again. Got the second call, went to Iraq. So that's kind of how it went down.
I understand that you lost some friends in Operation Red Wings. So what did that feel like to you?
Being that I was in 3 Hell Weeks, I knew a lot of the guys. I knew every guy that died on the operation. Mm-hmm. So the story touched me so much, I wanted to find a way to raise money for their families. So I found the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. If you're a special operator and you die, it will give 100% tuition to your son or daughter to go to college.
Okay.
Great foundation. So now I gotta find something to do to raise money for it. So I started Googling all these different races. I found the Badwater 135. So it's a 135-mile run through Death Valley in the summertime. Had no idea about ultra running. I'm 250 pounds, I'm a big meathead. So here I am, calling the guy up on Wednesday. He goes, hey, you got to qualify for this race. I go, how do you qualify? He says, you got to run 100 miles in 24 hours or less. I'm like, is that even possible? I haven't run over 20 miles the whole year.
Yeah.
Going through BUDS, I started realizing that you have to learn to control your mind in these situations.
Okay.
So at mile 70, when I was in the worst shape of my entire life, I was able to draw on being calm. I was able to finish the race.
What's your current daily workout routine? Like say on a long day where you have plenty of time to just do whatever.
Well, even if I don't have plenty of time, I get it in. Yeah, I make it. So I prioritize trying to win the battle in the morning. So I always win the battle in the morning. So I get up in the morning time, every morning I go for a run. That's the first thing I do every morning. Haven't taken a day off of running since December 2016. Every day, up in the morning. So I also stretch out every day for about 2 to 3 hours. Every day. I've missed 2 days in about 5.5, 6 years. So that's just my routine. And about 4 days a week, I'm in the gym hitting the weights. Because you can't just be a runner. So this is every single day, the monotony of my life. But this is what builds discipline. And not everybody, I'm not telling everybody to do this. But this is my lifestyle. This is how I build self-discipline.
What are some of the most valuable things you learned in the Navy, be it about yourself or?
You know what? Some of the most valuable things, a lot of people say teamwork and stuff like that. Teamwork is big. But I learned that you have to be a good individual first. You have to triple down on your weaknesses, because a lot of times, like, you always count on your buddy next to you to help you out. Sometimes that buddy's not going to be there. You got to make sure that you are a jack of all trades and a master of all trades. And that's one thing, you got to have your buddy's back, they got to have your back, but you got to work on yourself every single day. And that's one thing that the military has to really, really triple down on. It's something that we're missing nowadays a lot, is that total accountability of every day. Going back to boot camp in your mind. You may have grabbed, boot camp sucks. SEAL training sucks. All these things suck, and people are so happy to get out of it. But that's what makes you good. Remember how you were when you got out of boot camp? You're kind of all like robotic and locked in, and then it slowly goes away. You get comfortable, you start to sag a little bit, start to walk around. You start to lose that militant discipline. That's the one thing I learned not to do in the military, is the military teaches you these great codes, ethics, morals, values. You got to continue to work on those. Like everything, it's a muscle. You stop going to the gym, you stop running, you get weak. The military teaches you these great values of strength and honor and code and all these other things. But what we do is we don't keep up the discipline of all that stuff, and we lose it. So the one thing I learned is to not lose that thing, that boot camp, SEAL training, whatever you go through, whatever your A school is, whatever it is, keep that discipline up. That's the biggest thing.